Okay, I wanted to give you a summary of our summer school program. We've finalized everything. We have a new clicker. I may not know how to run it. I got it, never mind. I've got it. Okay, I'll go back. So first of all, here's a summary of our overall summer school program as compared to our last 3 years. You can see that our summer school this year was pretty typical to what we've been. 2019, 1,303 total students in our summer school program, which represents about a third of our total student population, right at a third. That generated 93,000 plus hours of attendance in summer school, which equates to an ADA, or average daily attendance calculation, of 89.256, which a way of thinking of that equates to 89 students attending school on a full year basis. So that number of hours equates to 89 full year students, which is how our funding for summer school is based on hours of attendance and our ADA. A little breakdown of those numbers so that you can kind of see where our kids are attending. You see on the left there, each of our grade spans the number of actual students who are attending summer school. The 9 through 12 number is a 460 student number, but I broke that apart in the right-hand column so that you can see what kids are choosing to take. Our June seated summer school enrollments, our physical summer school, there were 474 enrolled sections of summer school where kids came to take classes. By far, the most popular choices were driver's ed, which, one more time, thank you very much to Fairground Chevrolet for providing 3 cars for our program to use. We had well over 100 kids receive instruction on driving this summer. Health, personal finance, government, and PE are by far the most popular offerings for our summer school. We did offer an online version of health, personal finance, and government offered through Rolla Public Schools and through our teachers, and through the months of June and July we had 100 students take advantage of those courses. And then 69 students took online classes through Launch, and those were classes that we did not offer. Everything from Japanese to theater appreciation and everything in between. So that came out to those 460 9 through 12 students on the left ended up completing 643 actual classes in the high school summer school. As I said, our revenues are driven by hours of attendance based on our summer school ADA at the top line, the 89.256 that we looked at a previous screen. That generates, so actually what happens is those 89 hours get put into our total school state funding formula for the year. So what we did this year with the help of Dr. Dare and Mrs. Atkinson, in order to isolate those hours, we actually worked with DESE to run that ADA number through the formula, isolating just the summer school hours and stripping away everything else. What we ended up calculating was that the state funding generated from summer school was a little over $573,000 through formula dollars, a little over $90,000 in addition for Prop C revenue. We receive a Prop C amount for every ADA throughout the school year, and summer school is no different. We did have received $26,000 plus in local food service revenue, that's students paying for their lunch accounts, for a total revenue number of $689,292 combined through all those sources. For our expenses, these are our major areas of expense. Food service is for salaries and food. Supplies within serving students was $21,000. Transportation is fuel, maintenance, and salaries. Our teaching staff includes teachers and classroom aides throughout summer school. The professional services primarily are fees that we paid to Launch to pay for the online classes. So for the Launch classes, we do pay for the students to take those classes, and then we are counting their attendance in our summer school attendance number is the way that works. And then supplies spent in summer school, a little under $5,000. So total expenses for this year, you can see a little over $351,000. So in summary then, total expenses of $351,830, total revenue of $689,292. And I will say that $689 is a much more accurate number. In the past, we've done a very simple calculation based on a per ADA calculation, but running it through the full formula kicks in some weighted ADA calculations and some other things that are new, thanks to Kendra for working with Desi on that. And you can see our summer school net this year is a little over $330,000 for the summer. So another, I believe, successful summer program. The addition of the online classes, both through Launch and through our local teachers, I think opens up a lot of options for kids in the summer that maybe can't come to the seated course for 3 hours a day for 20 days in June. So just trying to add increasing flexibility, trying to still offer classes at the elementary and middle level that keep students engaged in a fun learning environment that makes them want to be there over the summer is always our goal. We're always trying to get better in our class offerings, but I would say it was another successful summer session, and we hope to improve our offerings and our services next year as well. So I'd be happy to take any questions about the summer school program.
Craig, if memory serves correct, in the years past, we usually come just barely above breaking even.
Well, that plus, so what we did, on the sheet last year, we had calculated state revenue to be in the mid $300,000. And then we did list the Prop C calculation last year was around 90. So our revenue estimate last year was probably it was around mid 400s. So yes, this is higher. It's not a higher amount of revenue. It's a much more accurate picture of our revenue when we run it through the DESI form. Yeah.
So you had a listing there for the launch.
Yes.
Students, I think
Say
60.
launch or lunch?
Launch.
Gotcha. Launch. Okay.
Rocket.
I think 69. Was that the completed courses?
Those are, well, when you say completed, those are all the ones that students stayed in long enough for us to be charged. So we did have students that dropped, that signed up for the classes, but just like I guess in college, end up dropping in the first couple days. So I did calculate, I was a little concerned. The launch classes are quite rigorous, as are all online classes. They take a lot of discipline, but squeezing that much material into a short 1 month, or in some cases even a 2-week period, is tough. So I did calculate our GPA. I was concerned about our student success in launch, so I calculated our average GPA for the entire group was 2.93, so just a little under a 3.0. Of those 69 classes, 39 A's, 9 B's, 5 C's, 9 D's, and 7 F's are incompletes. So it was actually better than maybe what I had feared. Just talking with some kids who took the classes, the number of hours that they were spending, you do have to be very dedicated to complete those. But it does give some flexibility to our students. So I do like our relationship with them, but I would caution people when you get into it, know what you're getting into.
And are they cautioned by the counselors at the high school when they're signing?
We do our best we can to explain what launch classes are. Again, it's a lot different taking an online class for a semester versus trying to fit in a semester's worth of work in a month. And so we try the best we can, but certainly if kids want to try it, we want to give them that chance too.
And how about enters from incoming kindergarten students this year? Was that any
So we
change?
were at 107 kindergarten students, which is lower than it was prior to us opening our PUPS program. So I think our kindergarten class this year is it's right around 300, I think. So it's about a third of our kindergarten class came to the summer school program.
Okay.
Mr. Hounsom, I just wanted to add, I took personal finance over the summer online with Mr. Haberman at the high school, and it was very helpful to have that flexibility, and I'm glad that I can have my 7th hour off senior year, and I didn't have to take personal finance, so I'm really glad that we have that option, and I hope it continues.
And what you hear there, you know, people think of summer school as credit recovery or taking a class they failed. That's not summer. Summer school is taking those classes to create flexibility within their regular school year schedule, either to open up ability to take other classes, or I have a senior who has an hour off as well, they tend to grab onto that as well. So it does offer some flexibility.
Does Launch offer any AP courses at all?
We do offer some AP courses. We did not have, I don't think we had anyone take one over the summer, though, but they do offer advanced placement courses. We did have a few take some science courses. Our science teachers this year, when kids came into their class, were a little concerned in speaking with the kids about how much content they had covered and how much lab knowledge they had through taking the online classes. So we did contact Launch. They sent us all of their curriculum and labs that the kids had worked on. I gave those to the high school science teachers who were going to review all of that and just make sure that kids were getting a good science background through those courses.
So regardless of a grade, an incomplete or an F, it's still included in what we're billed from Launch.
Unless, if they did not drop the class within the prescribed drop period, we are. So I had Kendra calculate for me because I was curious kind of what our launch expenses were as compared to our ADA. So we paid out a little over $17,000. With 69 licenses, it's $255 per. So it was a little over $17,000 paid to them, and the hours of attendance generated a little over $23,000 in ADA revenue. So it was plus $6,000, but so roughly, I mean, it's fairly close, fairly even, but certainly enough that there's certainly no financial incentive not to offer them.
Well, a student who maybe took a class and failed or didn't finish the class, will they be allowed to enroll for that again next year, or will there be some type of intervention or counseling to?
So I wouldn't go so far as to say not allowed,
Okay.
but I think that's certainly a counseling piece prior to signing up for courses in the future. Yeah. I think that's certainly appropriate to talk about that before going through it again. Okay? All right, thank you,
Great,
guys.
thank you.
Thanks.